What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Triple Option Podcast. Now, you could probably consider this just a read option because there's only two of us today. Mikey is out. His router is
Technical
KO'd. He has no
difficulties.
Wi-Fi.
No
So
data,
I'm with
no data to
Chase.
hop in the call.
So today we're going to do our Week 2 reactions. Besides all the injuries, we had some really, really good games. So we're just going to hop right into it. Chase, first of all, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. So I don't know. I got my wisdom teeth out last Friday. It's Thursday. I'm feeling good. We were supposed to record yesterday and the day before, but I looked like a chipmunk. So you know what? Let's talk about some football. All right, let's start off with let's start with the Cleveland-Cincinnati game. Joe Burrow, I took them to win. He covered the spread, 1-1. You win some, you lose some. But you know what? Yeah. Hey, life could be worse. Here's my thing. Joe Burrow's legit. Wait, those 60 passes and no picks?
Dude, he looks so good for his second NFL game with no preseasons ever. He looks
exactly.
Really
granted, he's 24, but he's better than Baker. Don't at me.
Dude, what's really rare? It's like, especially with young quarterbacks, it's like Joe Burrow is like 5 wide, spread out the defense, let me like look across and make a read. Like, not a lot of young quarterbacks can do that. Young quarterbacks like, oh, you need a running back next to him. He's like a safety check down. Joe Burrow's like, you know what? Spread him out wide. Let me just go to work and throw dimes. Like he was a lot more comfortable in that game than Baker Mayfield was. Regardless, Cleveland did win, but I think it
was close. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the takeaway from that game, besides Kareem Hunt being a beast, is Joe Burrow being special.
Yeah, he's legit. And granted, we all know Cleveland had a talented defense. Denzel Ward shut down A.J. Green, and Burrow still put up 30 points on him without honestly, A.J. could be still considered a top 10 wide receiver in the league. You know what I mean?
Imagine starting A.J. Green in fantasy. It's like, what is that?
I did.
I know you did. That was a joke.
Oh. All right,
what's the next game?
Yeah, we got Giants at Chicago. That game was a nail biter. I was watching it. My friend was like, "Oh, Chase, take Giants minus 5.5." I'm like, "All right, or plus 5.5." I'm like, you know what? If you can talk me into it, you give me 5.5 reasons why you can talk me into it. He did talk me into it. Game did not look good. Saquon went out, ripped my fantasy season. I know everyone said that. It's over.
I didn't get a chance to watch that game because that's kind of an interesting game to watch. But obviously, with Saquon going down, that's obviously the main headline. But I gotta say, Chicago, aren't they 2-0? Chicago's 2-0.
Chicago's 2-0.
I don't really think they deserve to be undefeated, but I mean, with the schedule they had, it's not really a surprise. It's all right. I mean, I don't know,
won from a drop pass, and Trubisky's he knows he's fighting for his life. I'm saying this. He's going to do a Blake Bortles year. They're going to do really well. He's going to save his job. They're going to pay him. Then he's going to suck, and they're going to deal with it in 2 years. But Chicago was up. It was either 10-0 or 13-0, and then New York fought their way back, and it came down to the final play. They were driving 15 yards, checked down to Golden Tate, didn't work. Sorry, not sorry to the Giants, but it shows the Giants. Are they legit? I don't know, because obviously they're 0-2. They beat a 2-0 Chicago. How good is Chicago? We don't know. It's early in the season. Like I say, it takes 3 weeks for you to know what a team is. Third time's a charm. That's my thing. That's when the buyers start rolling. So, we'll see about these two teams next week.
Well, the door's wide open now that Minnesota sucks right now. Like, Chicago can easily
they're tied for first. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Rodgers is going to give them 2 losses. But I'm just saying, like, wild card, you never know. 7 spots in the NFC, and their defense is constant. That's the one thing they got. It's a really good pass rush, really good defense. And if they involve their running backs, they'll do pretty well. So that was an interesting game for sure.
All right, we got Rams at Philly. Rams won. We all called it. There was no spread at the time when we picked them, but they still won money line. My takeaway is that the Eagles just aren't good anymore. Obviously, the Rams beat Dallas the week before. They beat the Eagles pretty handily. I was watching the game. I was just watching Red Zone, and it just the Eagles never looked like they were in control. They just look washed up. I'm not saying that they're bad. I just did say they're bad, but I'm not saying that they're going to get the first pick or anything like that. But they're not going to make the playoffs this year. That's my thing. I obviously picked Dallas to win that division. I'm standing by that. It's just it went. I don't know if it's the O-line. I don't know if it's just the draft because they got Jalen Reagor and he's now out for till week 9. You know what I mean? Like Jalen Reagor, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's just Philadelphia just doesn't look it. You know what I mean?
I don't understand what's going on in Philly, to be completely honest. Like, I'm waiting for that one like primetime game where I can watch him beginning to end. But right now, like Carson Wentz, like I know people hate it when you go after Carson Wentz, but he hasn't been
Dude, he's
playing
not
well.
better than Dak. He's not better than Dak. I stand by it. You look at Dak's
Dude, I
QBR
gotta
and all
tell
that
you,
good stuff.
before the season, I was more of a Carson Wentz guy, but after 2 weeks, it's hard to keep backing them up. I mean, those are 2 losses. Like the Rams, all right, you lost to the Rams, Sean McVay. They're very sleeper-ish 9-7 team last year with all those injuries. But losing to Washington, like, dude, like I wouldn't be surprised.
17-0 lead.
Honestly, would it be a surprise if the NFC East, the winner of the NFC East, had like 8 wins, 7 wins?
No, I would not be surprised
at all. That's the worst division in football. I mean, that's probably, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, Eagles looked, I don't know what it is. I thought Darius Slay, great addition, secondary be good. Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, good speedy linebackers. Like, oh, the defense is the same. But I think this is a sign that, number one, Carson Wentz isn't what people thought he would be, and number two, Doug Peterson's magic is gone. So yeah, I think they're going
not
in the wrong
fire
direction.
Him. I don't think they're going to fire him because he did win them a Super Bowl. You know, I mean, he won the Super Bowl a couple years ago. It's too early to fire him. I think they got to assess the quarterback. They got to. It's not really his fault. Like they didn't do a good job drafting at all. It's like you know, they did what the Packers did. They drafted a replacement quarterback and a third string running back. In their case, like a not great wide receiver. Not a running back, not a great wide receiver. And you know what I mean? Like you gotta point, you know, what Green Bay just went to the NFC Championship. That's why no one freaked out too much. They were like, you were went away from the Super Bowl and you didn't go, ha ha. You should have drafted better. But the Eagles, they had a lot of work. You know what I mean? And my thing is, Wentz is a more exciting guy to watch. I'll give you that. You know, based on his past, Wentz is way more exciting to watch than Dak. That's going to change now. Just Dak is just better. And the thing is, Wentz just has a lot of wear and tear. I mean, that man, he's just reckless with the ball. You know what I mean? We see Josh Allen's reckless. That's gonna add up.
Change.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gonna add up. If he doesn't start changing himself, it's gonna add up. We saw Wentz the year he tore his ACL. That man was just being reckless. Yeah.
Yeah. Wentz doesn't really do it for me. I had him that 1 year in fantasy where he had like an MVP like season, then he got hurt. But since then he's been kind of you know what I mean?
That special. Yeah. All right, we got Atlanta at Dallas, the big game of the week, the premiere. Honestly, you know, should Dallas have won that game? No,
absolutely not.
Because your team should always recover an onside kick. Atlanta, you look like fools out there. I don't know what you're doing, and I know I'm not even going to say 28-3 and going to rip on them with that because it's not the same thing at all. The amount of time left, and B, the situation. You're going up against I stand by Dallas is going to go far in the playoffs. That team is way too talented. It's a young defense. They're going to figure themselves out. But, you know, my thing is Atlanta is good. They just had 2 unfortunate losses. You know, obviously Seattle. Are they going to go to the Super Bowl? We'll get to that later. But, you know, Atlanta's damn good. Matt Ryan's just throwing the ball. Julio and Ridley are gross for your 1 and 2. Most teams would kill for a guy like Calvin Ridley to be their 1, let alone their 2. And you got Todd Gurley. I wasn't paying too close attention to that game because it wasn't too much on the red zone.
It wasn't competitive, at first.
But you know, it's still Todd Gurley. You know, they got that offensive line who they've been drafting all the past couple of years. You know, Matty Ice is still good. You know, still a good deep. It's just that was just unfortunate. And I don't even know who to blame. You know what I mean? Obviously, the defense. Should never let in 30-plus points and expect to win.
I say Dan Quinn has to go. I'm sorry. If you're in that locker room.
I like Dan Quinn, but
something is off. Something's off. Ever since that Super Bowl, it's really that core. It's the
Patriots just do that.
Yeah. I mean, there's no excuses for that. I mean, I didn't really tune in until it got competitive late. But I got to tell you, that's not a good look at all. And Atlanta's offense, they played outstanding. They put up 39 points. Typically, if you put 39 points on the board, you win. But their secondary is a huge Achilles heel. They can't really get stops, especially on third down.
Yeah.
But I got to say, though, I would consider Atlanta losing that game versus the Cowboys winning. Because the Cowboys the Cowboys, they
McCarthy
look
was just bad. He did a bad job coaching. He did 2 fourth down runs.
They are lucky.
Yeah.
Dude, I think know exactly who you blame. If you could blame one thing besides Dan Quinn, is the people on the onside kick watching the ball travel 10 yards.
Hunter
You can touch
Hayden
the ball.
Hurst.
Yeah, Hayden Hurst. There's like 5 Falcons guys just watching the ball. Like you can just jump on it. You don't have to wait 10 yards like the kicking team does. Like I don't understand that whatsoever. No. And that's just people not understanding the situation. And that's if it's a bunch of people, it's one thing if it's one person wasn't on the same page, but 5 people didn't know the situation, how to handle coaching. It. That's coaching. I mean, that's exactly what it is.
You're right.
That's an embarrassment for sure. But yeah, that was a Hollywood type movie finish for sure.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean yeah, of course it's the Cowboys, the Texas team. Yeah, love the Cowboys and standing by that. Of course, they're going to go pretty. They're going to go to the championship game. They're going to go to the NFC championship. All right, Carolina at Tampa. Tampa won. You know, I had Carolina.
Were you impressed by Tom Brady?
I definitely was impressed.
Okay. Yeah.
Definitely was impressed. He played Carolina, so he should calm down.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, he just I don't know. It's like he had some bad drops. I'll give him that. But he looks good. You know, that defense is a lot. Is that defense good? How many points are up against Carolina? Obviously CMC went out, but it was like a 1-score game before CMC went out with like 3-6. I'm not sold on Tampa yet. You know, Carolina, they're not good. The thing is, their offense can put up numbers. Their defense is just I feel bad for them, you know what I mean? Because they could be 2-0. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they could be.
For me, my takeaway of that game was, it was 21-zip. First half, Brady threw for 196, like he was cooking.
Yeah, he looked vintage.
Tampa looked great. Second half, everything kind of slowed down. They let them crawl back into it. I think they had a fumble. It was like a handoff that didn't go well, I'm pretty sure. Tampa let Carolina come back in, and Brady didn't throw for that many yards in the second half. I think he was only like 19 yards passing in the second half.
Yeah,
but that's just the flow of the game. They were running Fournette with a breakout game out of nowhere, which was good. But yeah, I got to tell you, Brady would have had 3 touchdowns if LaShawn McCoy didn't drop it and Scotty Miller didn't drop it.
Yeah.
So I thought Brady. I got to tell you one thing. Without Chris Godwin, I liked seeing Brady connecting to Mike Evans for sure, especially on that pump fake back shoulder. So that's a big plus. But yeah, I'm not really going to overhype it because it is Carolina, but I'll tell you one thing. It's like, I feel like that was kind of like a get back on track kind of game.
Yeah. That's a good for us. Now we got to get back to work because we don't know who we are. All right. San Francisco at the Jets. I don't really want to talk too much about this game. I don't really have too much to talk about. You know, sucks that the 49ers went down with so many injuries. You know, first play of the game, Raheem Mostert, 80 yards to the house. That was sick. My takeaway is that it isn't Darnold who is bad. We saw that Rodgers-esque throw. He needs protection. What the Jets need to do is get to the draft. Do not draft his replacement. Draft him some offensive line help. The thing that happens, we saw what happened with Luck. He's like, you don't get him a line. You don't get a quarterback a line. They're going to play bad. That's a fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just – that's my takeaway is that –
I got to give Sam Darnold a bunch of credit because he took Chris Hogan, who was at Foot Locker doing nothing in free agency, and he was their leading receiver. And he has absolutely no help whatsoever. They did draft offensive line last draft. They should – if you're going in the draft this year –
you never stop. Yeah,
offensive line, wide receivers. Those are the 2 main things. It's the league's shaping into like an offense first kind of league. I don't even want to look at their defense because their defense is also pretty atrocious. But
they got Quinn Williams. That's going to be a cornerstone for their whole franchise.
If there's one thing you want to do to get fans back in their seats and the Jets to be hyped up a little bit more,
score some
get Sam Darnold some pieces and put up some points. Yeah, absolutely. But if I was going to describe this game really quickly, because it's not really a good game whatsoever, is 3rd and 31. That's all I got to say about that game. They let the kid run like 50 yards.
On that note, we go to Denver at Pittsburgh. Another really good game. Obviously, Locke went down. Driscoll kept them in the game. I'm not going to come on and be like, I like Driscoll. Yeah, the Denver's going to win. They're going to keep winning.
He threw some nice passes.
So my takeaway is that Pittsburgh still isn't legit. I'm not too afraid of Pittsburgh. You know, again, Driscoll did come in. He did his job. Denver, I don't know how good their defense is. They got kind of stomped by Ryan Tannehill. It's just, again, it's week 2. Give it one more week. When the buys start coming, we'll be like, oh, this is legit. No. I mean, Pittsburgh has the pieces. They got a young I remember like hearing Snoop Dogg being like, "Get AB and Le'Veon out of there. We haven't won jack shit with them in this system," and that's what they did. They got rid of them. They got Dante Johnson. Juju's looking gross. Dante Johnson can make anybody miss. You got Benny Snell. I mean,
their receiving core is so young. They have very young receivers.
They're just a young team. It's going to come together. Big Ben is easily almost twice everyone's age on that offense. You know what I mean?
He's up there for sure. Still really good though. I like Big Ben a lot.
I like Big Ben a lot. But I'm just not convinced that them being Denver, even with Driscoll going off, is too
I remember last year, everyone's like coming off of last year to this year. Everyone's like, "Oh, Steelers defense is the real deal. Look at all these turnovers. Micah Fitzpatrick."
I mean,
I saw back-to-back weeks.
Good.
Oh, for 100%.
Yeah.
Their front seven is really good,
except
for interior linebacker. Actually, Devin Bush is all right. So
Devin Bush is good, dude. Devin Bush is good.
He's the perfect Shazier replacement, 100%.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you though, that secondary back-to-back weeks, you have Driscoll and Danny Dimes, and I saw both of them get some successful deep ball accuracy touchdowns against
Where's
them.
Minka Fitzpatrick? Why aren't we Why hasn't his name been mentioned recently? Because he's not playing well.
What happened to all those interceptions he had? Sixes, yeah.
What happened to we traded away our first pick for? Oh, I don't know. Minka, I don't think anyone in Pittsburgh's having them right now either.
Listen, they were winning 2-0. That's great, but it was a little too close for comfort if I was a Steelers fan. That's kind of a weird game to be close and competitive, especially with Driscoll.
Yeah, if I'm the Steelers, I'm not happy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be 100% satisfied. Satisfied is the word. Yep.
Yeah. All right, we got Jacksonville at Tennessee. Sunday Night Football, what it should have been, because Minshew Mania, Minshew Magic. Now that Mike isn't here, you and I could talk about Minshew Magic for the next hour and a half if we wanted to.
He's a great player.
So here's my thing. Jacksonville is legit. Tennessee is legit. I didn't like Tennessee. I had them losing both weeks. I had them losing week 1 and week 2. Obviously, they're now 2-0. I think Tennessee is legit, and I'm sorry about that. I'm apologizing to everyone. What's his name? Jeffrey Simmons? What the hell? What is that man eating? Holy shit! Oh my god, that guy is gross. But yeah, and then I'm just gonna. I don't want to talk about Tennessee. I don't like Tennessee at all. But I love Jacksonville. I'll tell you that. You look at that team. We thought they cleared house. We thought they cleaned house. We thought they were going 0-16. They could be 2-0. I'm not going to say should be 2-0. They could be 2-0. Minshew got unlucky with those 2 interceptions. It wasn't like he blatantly threw it. It wasn't like they were bad throws. Tipped at the line. Another one, I'm pretty sure, went off the receiver's hands. Those are possible 14 points, possible 3, possible 6, however you want to do it, 10 points right there. They would have won then. Can't we talk about them against Miami tonight? But yeah, what's your take?
For me personally, I took what was it? I think the line was like 5, wasn't it? Tennessee Jacksonville. -9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked Jacksonville to win that game, and when they only lose by like 3, so it was a very competitive game. Minshew had a chance late, but I'm not sold on Tennessee. I'm not a fan of their play style. I don't think it's sustainable. I don't trust Ryan Tannehill. I got to tell you, he threw how many touchdowns? 4 touchdowns. He was airing the ball up. But again, that's the Jacksonville defense, and they're basically everyone's gone. So I'm not going to overhype that. But I do like Jacksonville in the sense that everyone thought they were just going to tank. We had no hope. They need a quarterback. And Minshew's like, nah, fam, like I'm the quarterback. And he's been very electric, and people have been keeping an eye on Jacksonville, so he's definitely gotten some momentum. He's gotten some attraction. But yeah, I do like Jacksonville. I think they're missing a lot of key guys, but offensively, you got Minshew, you got DJ Chark, you got the guy from
Chenault.
Yep, that's him, and you got that
Pancho
Robinson guy. Yeah, so they have some guys that will put some points on the board. Defensively, I think they have one of the really good corners from the draft, Henderson. So
yeah, Henderson's turning heads.
Yeah, so I like Jacksonville. I'm not sold on Tennessee, but we'll see what happens tonight with Miami and Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can really say about week 2. Can't say it enough. All right, we got Detroit at Green Bay. We don't really need to talk about that too much.
Just
Green Bay
Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
And Aaron Jones running crazy 41 fantasy points in standard.
Yeah. Give me those 2, bro. I love them. But yeah, I mean, just real quick, I'm just gonna say, the Packers are the Packers. You know what I mean? They're gonna go to the playoffs. They're gonna go far. Everyone's hating on their draft. I think they did a fine job. All right, we got Buffalo at Miami. I love the fucking Bills.
I took
I love the Bills.
I took Miami, and guess what? You can love the Bills all you want, but Miami was competitive. It was only a 3-point game.
Yep, they were
guess
competitive.
what does that mean? What does that mean? That means the AFC East is still coming through Gillette Stadium, baby. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Patriots.
I mean, we all know. We all know. Everyone knows the Pats are going to win. Everyone knows it's going to come down to one of those later of the season games when the Pats are at home. We're going to have fans by then. I know that for a fact. But, yeah, Bills – so here's the thing. Miami did lose to New England by 10. They did lose to Buffalo by 3. What does that really say? I'm not going to say the Pats – I think the Pats, we would have blown them out by even more if we had Cam throw the ball. I think what happens, we did what we needed to win. So there's that. It's just Miami's – they're just – is it because they're not playing Tua?
Dude, they're the perfect
team.
Just
a bad team.
Miami's the perfect team that it's like they're bad, but they'll be super annoying late in the season. They'll upset someone.
They'll upset someone and they'll go 6-10. It's going to be nothing to them. They're going to ruin someone's season. Classic
That's the perfect Miami team right there. But I got to say, Josh Allen, though, he's been phenomenal.
Oh, Josh Allen.
Crazy production. I'm a big
NFL doesn't do most improved, does it? They just do comeback?
I thought he won player of the week. Didn't he? Offensive player of the week.
No, but I'm saying they don't do most improved like at the end of the year.
I thought they do. Actually, no, they don't. They only
do comeback, right? Yeah. All right. So regardless, if Josh Allen, they had that where I think he could win it because, I think the Bills are obviously going to go to the playoffs. 3 teams get him. Yeah. All right. So Minnesota at Indianapolis. I like the Vikings a lot. My good friends are obviously Vikings fans, but Dad, it's just
they looked horrendous.
It's just depressing. Like they got to clean house. They got to do something. They don't got to get rid of Ngakoue. They don't got to get rid of Daniel Hunter. They just got to get it. They just got to get a new guy in there. They got to Mike Zimmer. I don't know if he's still good. Again, 2 weeks. I could be eating my words. They could be going to the playoffs. But it's just as of right now, the whole point of these takes, and I can't stress enough, that from what we've seen so far, this is my opinion. And my opinion so far is that it's that something they got to get rid of Kirk. They should draft someone. They could get Fields. They can get Lawrence like that. No questions asked. They have a lot of young guys and they have a lot of old guys and they have a lot of cap. They have a lot of cap space getting spent on guys they don't need to spend it on. It's just I think it's time for a new era in Minnesota. They went to the NFC Championship game 2 years ago. That was just such a different year,
Dude,
such a different team.
The thing about Minnesota, 100%, when you think of Minnesota, especially in the past years, you think of, all right, Kirk Cousins, he's hot and cold, but when he's cold, they're still competitive because their defense holds up, their secondary holds up, their pass rush holds up. Now that their secondary is very vulnerable and their defense wasn't what it was, and Mike Zimmer's a lot of teams are putting up a lot of points against Mike Zimmer's defense. Then you put a lot more pressure on Kirk Cousins, and you lost Stephon Diggs. And I got to say, so far, it doesn't look good. I thought they would be a lot better. I think I picked them in week 1 and in week 2. No, I only just both. Week 2. Yeah, because Green Bay destroyed them. I picked Green Bay. But last week I picked them, and they definitely underperformed. Kirk Cousins did not look good. Mm-hmm. But they need to find something on defense because their secondary is a huge weakness, and it's not looking good.
It just sucks because they're in such a difficult position where Kirk is obviously going to be the first one to go. But then you got guys like Thielen, Harrison Smith, Kyle Rudolph, Anthony Barr.
They got some good players.
And Eric Kendricks. They're just guys that how much more time do they have value to their names? And if you wanted to move them, do you really want to break the hearts of the fans? What I mean? It's just a sticky situation there. And then, we haven't talked about Indianapolis at all. There's not a lot to talk about. I think they're a middle of the pack team. They could sneak in as a again, from what I've seen 2 weeks into the season, they could sneak in as a wild card. I don't see them winning the division.
If they had a lockdown corner, if they had a cornerback 1 take away.
If they had like a Vontae Davis back in there, yeah.
If they had a cornerback 1 that can just lock people down, I would feel a lot better about them. But their secondary is full of young kids, and they just can't cover.
They just lost Malik Hooker again, dude. Poor guy.
All right,
we got Washington at Arizona. Again, not a lot to talk about. I think we saw Washington kind of beat down Philly.
Stop the run, get after the quarterback,
I had Washington covering the spread because I thought Kyler Murray was going to run for his life, but I didn't watch that game too much. But Arizona, they're pretty legit. You know what I mean? I don't think they're going to come. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. They still got to get through San Francisco, Seattle, and the Rams.
That's
Obviously, they already
really
got through
tough.
San Francisco once. So but they're like 1 or 2 years away from like being dangerous. You know what I mean?
I got to tell you, I'm very surprised about how fast DeAndre Hopkins was able to be like successful and productive when getting plugged in.
Yeah.
I thought for sure it was like, all right, you think of Odell, he had to kind of slow, he had to ease into it. Browns offense.
He's not even into it in Cleveland, frankly. And I know you agree.
She's still out of sync, but game one, Kyler and Hopkins are on the same page.
It's just Hop is not controversial. You know what I mean? He's
not a diva. He's straightforward
guy. You know what I mean? He's just like, I'm good at football. You're good at football. Let's be good together. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he's a good player. I'm not the biggest Hopkins fan. I think he in big games.
I'm not a big Hopkins guy, but
I mean, he's easily a top 5 receiver. He's a good player. So, I gained more respect for him how productive he's been so quickly with the Cardinals. Shows that he's just pure talent and it's not just a system. So Cardinals look good. Kyler Murray's easily in the race for MVP right now with Russell Wilson, Josh Allen. So we'll see if they can keep going. But right now they look exciting to watch for sure.
Totally. All right, we got Baltimore at Houston.
Another game where Deshaun Watson isn't threatening and Bill O'Brien still should get fired, and it wasn't really competitive. Final answer right there.
I can't say anything more than that. Like, obviously my thing is the Ravens.
So tough. I hate them, but they're good.
They just got better. Like,
I hate to say
my gosh. They got the best running back, a top, 5 linebacker in the draft.
A run-stopping defensive
Campbell
end. Yep.
And Derek Wolfe. I mean, like, you talk about teams that won the offseason. They won the offseason, and all their players just got 1 year older, which means because they're a young team, they got 1 year better.
Dude,
that's all I want to say.
You think of the Ravens, their defense is stacked. Secondary's great. Even without Earl Thomas, their secondary still holds up. Now they can stop the run. Their front seven's really good. Very talented front seven. And then you have an offense who can just run all over you. And you have tight ends who just know the sweet spots and zones and are like safety blankets for Lamar. And you got to contain Lamar. And you have a really deep running back committee. That's just a tough team.
It is. I do not look forward to playing them.
Guess what? Something always goes wrong for John Harbaugh. So I'm not – Super Bowl pick, it's kind of a safe Super Bowl pick. But guess what? They lost to Tennessee. Lamar's 0-2 in the postseason.
It's not a coincidence Lamar's 0-2. You know what I mean? There's a reason why
there's a reason for
he's
sure.
0-2.
I'm convinced that once the formula – there's going to be a formula that comes out to beat the Ravens. It's going to come soon, and everyone's going to do it. And then they're not going to be as – they're not going to be as good offensively. Yep, for sure.
It's all it is. I mean, too bad we never saw them to play the Pats in the playoffs because Bill. Because what Bill does, he just lets you run all over you when he knows he's going to play in the playoffs, and then
we play them again this year. We play them.
It's going to be interesting. That's going to be a good game. All right, we got Kansas City at the Chargers, and obviously we can talk about this game for all day. But here's my thing:
Herbert is money.
The Chargers, the Chargers are legit with Herbert. They are. Frankly, in my opinion, the one piece that was missing from that team was a quarterback. Now they got it. Herbert's not going to win them a Super Bowl this year, obviously. He's a rookie. They got to get through a pretty stacked AFC. But
guess what? They're going to put up points. Keenan Allen's going to be relevant again because Tyrod Taylor wasn't really on the same page with Allen. So Allen, the receiver's going to get a lot more work. They're going to be efficient on offense. They're not going to turn the ball over. They're going to do long drives because that's what they did against Kansas City. And now their defense is more relevant because now you have some hope on the offensive side of the ball. It's like, listen, we have a young kid. He's a good leader. He throws a nice ball. Now that pass rush is screaming. Now you have really good corners and secondary people and players. So now they're going to be good. And I kind of – what I saw against Kansas City was the formula that the Patriots did against them and to a team should do is do long methodical drives and play man coverage. And we talked about it last week. You mentioned, it was like, oh, do you think the Chargers are one of those teams that can rush for and play man? Well, your answer was last week, 100%. It was way too close for comfort. I mean, that game could have went either way. They should have went for it on 4th and 1 in overtime. But Chargers were competitive, and it's exactly right. They're just a tough team. They're a tough.
They can make some noise.
Perfect definition.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because they're nowhere near. They're not a bad team whatsoever. They have a lot of good pieces.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be a good team for a while. That's all we can talk about now because you just got Mike Williams out. You got Mike and Keenan out there. It's just oof. It's gonna be exciting. And this is Hunter Henry. But all right, here we go. The big ticket Sunday Night Football. Pats at Seattle. And here's all I am saying. For the first time ever as a Pats fan, and I know you can agree with this, I am happy about a loss. Typically, whenever we lose, it's like, shit, what are we going to do? I'm scared. I was telling – me and my friend Cam were talking, like, late in the night after he was just like, man, like, it is weird. It is weird to be like, oh, that's a great loss right there. We have never, ever, ever in our lives had to say anything like that.
Not because we had Tom Brady, and the sky was the limit. We always win.
Here's the thing: even if we had Tom Brady, we weren't winning that game. We would lose by even more if Tom Brady was the quarterback of that game.
This is a tough.
That's not. It's an opinion, so there's no right answer. But I think I'm right. So here's takeaways. Pats are legit. We're going to the Super Bowl. We got to beat Seattle in it, obviously. So that's going to be interesting. But you don't let up 35 points and expect to win a game. That's how the NFL is.
Hell? The one thing I thought we had going for us is like, listen, we have
our
really
secondary is so good, dude.
Our secondary is so good.
As soon as I saw DK, like Stephon Gilmore's defense on that play was immaculate. You couldn't do anything better, and he still scored
his arm
a
is in there, dude. It was. I mean, that's
it's
just
Russell
Wilson throwing over.
When that happened, I'm like,
great player.
I was like, uh-oh. You know what I mean? Like the pick six, like a minute 30 in the game, I'm like, oh, bet. We're going to win. You know what I mean? It's like –
yeah, me too. It's that's exactly what we needed.
You know what I mean? Like,
I couldn't ask for more from Cam Newton. I thought he was very, very good, and I was very –
Cam's playing his best I've ever seen him play. I'm not a Panthers fan like Mike is, so obviously he knows if we're seeing better than 2015 Cam. Jesus.
Dude, he threw for over 400 yards. He threw for over 400 yards twice in his career. And it was his first game ever against the Cardinals, and then a game against Green Bay. This is 2012. So he hasn't really been close since then. Even his MVP season, he hasn't thrown for 400 yards.
Yeah.
But 397, I'll count that as 400 yards. And he was stretching the ball down the field. Edelman was 170 yards receiving.
Edelman was
he's like, I think he's top 3 in receiving yards.
He's literally number 3. Yeah.
I love Edelman. I think he's Hall of Fame. But that's another conversation.
The last great Patriot. That's all I'm saying about Edelman. The last great Patriot.
I love Edelman. But yeah, I thought, listen, if we're gonna go into the same game plan, go into week 2 with the same game plan, so we're just gonna run Michelle, read option, heavy formation, Cam runs it. I would be like, Seattle's going to beat us. But I had a weird feeling. I picked New England to win. We all picked New England to win. I had a weird feeling. So, listen, I don't think Seattle's up front and defensively up front they're that good. And I didn't expect Cam Newton to air the ball out as successful as he was. But, yeah, that was a fantastic game. We can go all day about arguing about that last play of the game. But I think they went to the well too many times, but I can't hate the play call. I mean, it's worked so many times. It's a very tough play to stop. It's so many guys up front.
I mean,
they just
you mentioned it. The run flip to like a tight end would have worked. Would have worked.
If they slipped Ryan Izzo out to the right and they ran the play to the right, so he has the option to throw. Or
the left. Honestly, the left, just do the fake and then flick. But yeah.
All the way across the field? Yeah, no one would expect it across the field. Yeah, Ryan Izzo game-winning touchdown. That's what it would have been. But yeah, they played great. That was a fantastic game to watch. So
it's one thing that I think, I don't know if you'll agree with me this, but like McDaniels, his third down decisions are not it. There was one point, remember, we were like on the 15-yard line, we didn't score a touchdown. Even closer than that, we didn't get in. You got to score in that. When you're in the red zone, there's no excuse not to score a touchdown. But yeah.
Yeah, especially with Cam Newton's short yard situations, we have to be super good. Like we have to be nasty at short yard situations. So yeah, I thought some play calls were a little iffy, but big takeaway, like a kind of a sleeper takeaway besides the main points we covered. N'Keal Harry, I'm sorry, if you touch him with one finger, he falls down. Dude goes down so easy.
It's obnoxious because
remember that play he caught at the 2-yard line?
Dude,
just reach over. It's like shove someone off, shrug him off. He couldn't do it. He just falls down like a feather. It's like
it's annoying because he is 6'4". That man is a unit. He ran like a 4.3. Make somebody miss.
Yeah, I feel like he's not. His mind isn't really there. He's a little nervous when he's playing. I feel like he needs to just have confidence in himself.
He's
just be yourself on
you
the
gotta
field.
have fun to be good at something.
Have fun and just like have the mentality. Listen, I'm gonna beat every play. I'm just gonna win this matchup and just go right at this corner and get open. So yeah, I don't really know. It's a little iffy, but I saw great things.
At least he's getting targets, and Damari Bird too.
Damiere Byrd, yeah.
Damiere Byrd, whatever his name is, yeah. He's looking good.
Barely know who he is, but guess what? He made some.
We know who he is now.
That hitch route and that out route with Cam, they're in sync, so that's good.
All right, we got New Orleans at Vegas.
That's
Adam
a fantastic
was
game.
the only one to go 2-0 in this game. I pick them to hit
Vegas.
the spread.
I knew it.
Yeah.
My take was right on the money last week. I said, listen, my takeaway from New Orleans and Tampa Bay wasn't about, Tom Brady's washed up. Look at him, all these weapons, he couldn't perform. My takeaway is like, listen, the Bucs made all these mistakes. They just put this offense together with this quarterback. They barely know each other because they haven't had any actual full speed games. And it was with all those mistakes, the game was close. I'm like, listen, that's kind of weird because New Orleans has been together for Sean Payton, Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, like that core's been together for a long time. Kamara, like they know how to play with each other. They have their own system and it's been working. And I was like, why is it so close? Like that makes no sense. And I was like, all right, you know what's going to happen? No Michael Thomas. This is a perfect upset game. And I'm picking the Raiders.
I was like,
what did I say? Yeah.
Why is that so close?
Yeah, exactly. I paused. I zoomed in. I was like, wait a second. Yeah, it was odd. I didn't think Drew Brees looked very good, and you didn't look good.
We're witnessing the end of Drew Brees.
Yeah, I think it's father time for Drew Brees more than it is for Tom Brady.
Yeah, easily.
Bold take. Yeah, and we saw it. And I thought John Gruden. I love John Gruden. He's a great coach. He's going to lose this week though to the Patriots.
Yeah,
but I like the Raiders. Yeah, that was a good game.
Yeah, I mean that's all I can tell you. We're witnessing the end of Drew Brees, and my thing is. Minnesota thinks that they are what the Saints are. You know what I mean? A team that's been together forever that's going to Minnesota's just so cringy. But
I like Drew Brees. I want him to do well, but they just so many heartbreaks. Dude, they can't get him to another Super Bowl. It's annoying.
I just don't get, obviously, I'm not 41. I don't know how it's like to throw a football in the NFL when you're 41.
Yeah.
It's just the end of Drew Brees, and that sucks.
It just adds up, dude. All those throws every year, preseason football, just like training camp, it just adds up.
Yeah, I mean, he's not. Brady's an alien. What he's doing is, TB12 method. That man, it's insane. He's like, I want to play till I'm 50 now. You know what I mean? I believe that he might play till he's 50, but
he's gonna win one more and then leave. That's what I'm saying. And that one more is going to be this year because the NFC's weak. Bold take. Did I say that?
No, Seattle. You're telling me right now Tampa's going to beat Seattle? That's crap, Adam.
All I'm saying, if it's Tampa Patriots, that's the best thing ever. Honestly, that would be like
it's not going to be because
Batman versus Superman. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sick. All right, so we're going to end it. Obviously, we talked about it. We're going to end it with, since it's Thursday night, we're going to end it with Thursday Night Football. Miami at Jacksonville, and the spread is Jacksonville -3. I am taking both. Minshew Mania, Minshew Magic, Minshew Madness, Minshew Mayhem. I don't know if I already said that one, but just Minshew. Adam, take it away.
I'm 100% agree with you. I'm going to take Minshew all day. And I think Miami is it's going to be a close game. I got to tell you, two teams that are bad on Thursday night typically
always a shootout.
Always a really good game. Yeah, you'd be surprised. Like you think the game's like, Kansas City, Baltimore, all these big name teams. Those are the most boring games to watch. This is like so low scoring and defense oriented.
No, this is gonna be a shootout,
dude. This is the motto for this game is gonna be what do we have to lose for both sides? They're just gonna be slinging it.
And the other thing is, there's beef between quarterbacks. Fitzpatrick's like fuck this kid Minshew. I can grow a full beard. Like I don't grow patches. Minshew's like whatever. Like I'm better than you. Like dude, this is gonna be. Too bad this isn't hockey because there'd be a fight among goalies right now.
Dude, I like Minshew a lot. He's just the character, the charisma,
he's just a winner.
He's just a beauty. Like you just rally behind him. I like him a lot. So yeah,
what's
the line? -4, -3?
-3. So basically, field goal at washes. I'm expecting this to come down to a touchdown or a field goal. So I'm expecting this game, frankly, to wash. But Jacksonville's going to win. They're going to cover the spread, assuming it doesn't wash.
Dude, I agree. Jackson's going to cover. I know what it's going to be like. It's going to be like Minshew gets the ball, minute left. drives to field to win. Imagine that's
run 99-yard rushing touchdown from Minshew.
99-yard scramble to the right, just hurdles the guy. All right, so there you have it. That's our week 2 reactions and our Thursday night prediction. Hope you guys enjoy. Definitely like and subscribe. Hopefully next time we'll have Mikey back here, but I thought today went pretty well. Any last words, Chase?
Yeah, I mean, like, assuming everyone likes this, we're going to start doing, the week before previous week reactions, and then later on in the week do the Sunday, Monday picks. So I had fun doing this, so I'm fired up to keep doing it.
Let's go. Enjoy the game tonight. See you guys later.